Are live. What is going on, everyone? Thank you all so much for tuning in at this time. Everyone that's here, greatly appreciate it. Anybody that's watching this on the replay, thank you so much. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. I mean, what do you say? What do you say at this point? Right? I mean, the Lakers just can't win on the road. They can't beat anybody. They can't score enough offense, right? And people still say we don't need a trade. People still say we don't. Like, look, I understand Zach LaVine's contract is a lot, but we need a scorer. We need somebody like, dude, this was a great example of why we desperately need a third guy. Because, I mean, the first 14 points or whatever it was were all LeBron and AD. Nobody else scored. And people keep saying, oh, we don't need Zach LaVine. Stay the way it is, blah, blah, blah. We can't. Like, what are we going to do? We're just going to waste another season? Go get Zach LaVine, right? Zach LaVine, I understand that it's $40 million. You're going to have enough of a team between now and the time the salary cap spike raises, right? Let's say you trade D'Lo, Rui Hachimura, and I don't know, Jalen Hood-Schifino, right, or whatever. And maybe you throw in like a Jackson Hayes or something. You go get Andre Drummond, right? You're still going to have 10 players. You're still going to be 10 guys deep. You're still going to have all your defensive pieces, but now you have that consistent third go-to scorer. So I don't know what to do. Like, what else do you do? What other options do you have? This team is it's not good. They're underperforming. They're underwhelming. Reeves, he's trying to do what he can, but he's limited. He has to work so hard for his offense. He's not a guy that can just go get a bucket, right? He has to work hard to get his buckets. He has to get into the teeth of the defense. He has to, kind of create contact, or, if he can get that separation. We don't have a guy. I mean, look at DeMar DeRozan was just torching us. Didn't matter who was on him. Jared Vanderbilt, Cam Reddish, Gabe Vincent, right? Didn't matter. Put him on me. Guess what? I'm just going to go get a bucket, and you're not going to stop me. And that's the difference. We don't have anybody on this roster that can do that. We don't have anybody that's capable of, like, you can just give the ball to and he can just go to work, right? It's just, that's the problem. We need we can't score enough points against teams. Our defense is there for the most part, but our defense can't, like, we're not scoring enough points to keep up with the defense. So then defense gets lax, defense gets tired, everyone gets worn down. It's just, like, what do you do at this point? Like, we desperately need a trade. If we want to save this season, we want to win an NBA championship. We're not a contender. We're not. I've said this repeatedly. We're not there. If we get to the playoffs, right? You got healthy LeBron, healthy AD. I'll take my chances in a 7-game series. But I wouldn't bet on them to win, right? Anything can happen. Get a couple dominoes to fall your way. A couple things go your way. A couple lucky breaks. You win a championship. You got LeBron and AD. I don't think anyone would be surprised. But seriously, I wouldn't bet on I wouldn't count on this team right now. None of this offseason, this roster on paper should be amazing. This roster on paper should be, we should be fighting for the #1 overall seed. Guys just don't have it. Guys aren't there. We don't have, we either have defensive wings or we have scoring wings. We don't have the in between, right? And then even the guards, right? Like D'Lo and Reeves are redundant. Like they just can't play together. If you have Cam Reddish and Jared Vanderbilt out there together, right? We don't have enough of offense to go and offset that, right? Where if we had, say, a Zach LaVine, you could go Zach LaVine, LeBron James, Anthony Davis, Cam Reddish, and Jared Vanderbilt, because now you have enough offense through a LaVine, through a LeBron, through an AD to offset that. But when you have that, it's and then you have Reeves on it. Reeves is, a liability on the defensive end. He has to work twice as hard on the offensive end to go get a bucket. It's not going to work the way that it is. It's just not, right? We got to figure something out. We got to figure out a trade. This team could genuinely use several pieces, but if you have to start, if LaVine is the only option, then LaVine's the only option, right? Then that's what it is, right? Unfortunate, right? You got to package D'Lo, you got to package Rui Hachimura, right? Neither of those two just make sense with this roster. I love Rui. I would love to see Rui long term. Problem is as long as LeBron James is on this roster, Rui just makes zero sense. because he's never going to get the opportunity. He's never going to get the minutes. He's never going to be able to get into the rhythm that he needs to get into to have success on a consistent basis. Like, it's the problem, right? Like, and you add in like Darvin Ham and the way that he's like utilizing guys, right? I'm not like what are you supposed to? You got to go get a consistent scorer. You got to go get a guy in a Zach LaVine that can go score. You'll still have plenty of depth. Once you get into the playoffs, you're only running 8 guys anyway. So you have plenty of depth. Obviously, there's concerns with Zach LaVine beyond his contract, but you got to live with those. You got to do something. Otherwise, you're just washing the season, and that's it, right? I'd love DeMar DeRozan, but Chicago's not going to trade. There's no Chicago's playing really good basketball. They want to keep DeMar DeRozan. They want to trade Zach LaVine. I just don't see us waiting around to get a DeMar DeRozan. I just don't. But anyway, let's dive into the box scores here and break that down, and then we'll jump into all your super chat questions and all your regular questions. Again, I'm only going to go probably about like 30, 40 minutes. I don't know if you can hear. My voice is getting better, but I'm still not there, and I still have like the chest cold, so it's like tough. Like I constantly have this tickle in my throat. All I want to do is just like cough right now. So I'm not going to go too crazy because last time, even after doing like 40 minutes last time, dude, I was like hurting. So trying to power through this. So again, super chats, all that stuff if you have pressing needs. Otherwise, I'm just going to answer as many questions as I can in like a 30-minute span. But real quick, let's dive into just the players as a whole and and figure it out from there. Also, real quick, while I'm pulling this up, dude, like we may be under 500 before the season's over, or before the month is over. I mean, that's not good at all. Like at all. Like for us to end up there, I really hope that that's not the case. But it's really trending that way. As much as I don't want it to, it's really trending that way. Let's see. Why isn't it coming up? Sorry, give me a second. There we go. All right. Okay. There we go. We got it. All right. So diving in. One thing I'll start with Taurean Prince, because Taurean Prince picked up right back. Right, last game he shot abysmal. Right, he was like 3 of 13 from 3-point range, which is just not going to cut it. But like I said in the last live stream, I want to wait. I want to see, like, was that just a bad game because he was shooting the lights out the previous 5 or 6 games before that? Was this just a bad moment, a bad game? Or is he getting back into being in just like a slump and it was a hot thing? I love that Taurean Prince came back out and hit some shots, right? I love that. I love that that clearly was just a bad game. That shooters have those bad games. It happens, especially when you look at the other 5 or 6 games he's played. You got to keep Taurean Prince. Taurean Prince has been solid on both sides of the basketball. Again, he's not some elite lockdown defensive guy, but he's good enough. And he when he plays like this, I mean, it's hard to take him off the court. 16 points, 4 assists, 4 rebounds, 1 steal, 1 block, and 4 of 8 from 3-point range. It's what you love to see. D'Lo, I mean, what do you say, man? The guy he's been so inconsistent, so hot and cold all season. Sorry. He's been so hot and cold all season. You got to get rid of him. You got to trade him. You really do. I like D'Lo as a player. I think in the right situation, the right environment, he could have some success, but it doesn't work. It's just he doesn't fit with this Lakers team. Austin Reeves, 9 of 14, 2 of 5 from 3. I'm glad that he's continuing to hit some 3-point shots, 21 points, right? He was also our worst minus at minus 22. And a lot of that goes into just he's the target for teams on the defensive side of the bat, or on the offensive side where he's the defensive target, right? Like teams are just signaling him out and going after him, right? So I just think that it's tough. Like I said, he's given up as many points as he makes, and he has to work just as hard to get it. It's why you need to get that third guy. Because when Austin Reeves goes off and gives you 21, it's that much more impactful, right? Imagine if D'Lo was Zach LaVine right now. Like Zach LaVine, there's no way Zach LaVine scoring 2 points, right? Even on a bad game, he's not scoring 2 points. So I mean, if D'Lo and Rui had 5, you're telling me Zach LaVine wouldn't have more than 7 points collectively, right? Like you got to go get that guy. You really do. But AD, 19 points, 14 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks. He got scary. He had a scary moment where he rolled his ankle. Give AD credit for getting back in the game and playing still, because a lot of people like to criticize him for being soft and not playing games and da-da-da-da. And look, the guy, he's proven last year, he proved it this year. He's more than happy to try to play through these little tic-tac fouls. But, again, tough. LeBron, 25 points, 9 assists, 10 rebounds, almost triple-double, 1 steal, 2 blocks. Like I mentioned earlier, Anthony Davis and LeBron James were all of our offense to start the game. Like literally, like all 14 points to start the game came from LeBron and AD. And then Cam Reddish. Cam Reddish was solid tonight, 13 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, 3 of 8 from 3, which is good, 37.5%. I will gladly take that. But like I said, we need another consistent go-to scorer. We need somebody that can just put the ball in the hoop with regularity, not name LeBron James and Anthony Davis. But let's dive into your Super Chat questions. Let's dive into your regular questions, all that stuff. Starting us off, Andrew, coming out to $2 Super Chat. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate that. Okay, LaVine is necessary all in. That's what I'm saying. Like, I hate to say it, right? Andrew, I mean, we've talked about this heavily, right? Like, I lean and I am sorry. I lean and I am of the mind, like, I would prefer DeMar DeRozan just for the salary purposes. Like, we can't wait for them to find a trade for Zach LaVine and then maybe trade DeMar DeRozan, right? 1 in the hand is worth 2 in the bush. Go get LaVine. You're probably going to get him at a discount because there aren't really any other teams. I know that there was a report that Sacramento is interested in LaVine. That makes 0 sense for me. Like he basically is just like another version of De'Aaron Fox, right? I don't think they need another wing. They need to upgrade like Harrison Barnes. Like if Sacramento was going to go get anybody, go get an OG Anunoby or go get a Pascal Siakam. Like I think Zach LaVine is the last thing they need to, like, if they want to be a true contender. So I'm not really worried about the Kings. I really think it is going to be the Lakers that end up landing him. And it's just the more we play, the more it looks like we desperately need Zach LaVine. We just can't score enough points, right? Like we're 7th in the league in defense and we're 26th in offense, right? We scored 108 points again against the Bulls. The Bulls, who, don't get me wrong, they've played better defense, but they're still only 15th in the last 9 games. This wasn't like a top 5 defense. They've been a top, like they've been a 15. They've been for the last like 8 games, 9 games, whatever. They've been in the top 15. They're like 22nd or whatever in the league this year. But last few games, they've moved up to 15. And we scored 108 points. Like, you can't make this stuff up. We need somebody. We have to work too hard for buckets, right? We have to work too hard. We don't have anybody that you can just give the ball to and say, go to work. That's the problem. Andrew, coming out with another $2 super chat. Appreciate it. F the contract, LaVine and Drummond. We need it. That's what I'm saying, right? Like, you're going to have enough depth. You're going to have enough team. I mean, most of these guys are on multi-year deals anyway, right? Like, so bare minimum, right? Bare minimum. Let's say you trade for LaVine and Drummond, right? You're going to have LaVine, LeBron, AD. You're going to have Andre Drummond. You're going to have Austin Reeves, right? So there's 5. You're going to have Max Christie, Gabe Vincent, right? Assuming you don't trade Max in that deal, which I don't know why you shouldn't. So there's 7 players right there. And that's not counting if Cam Reddish opts into his deal, Jackson Hayes into his. Even if Jackson Hayes leaves, okay, no big deal. Christian Wood, even if he leaves, like, you'll have 7 players. All at that point you need to do is just look to fill out the last 2 or 3 guys with vet minimums, right? Like, what do you need? You need another wing guy? Okay, here. Oh, and I forgot to mention Jared Vanderbilt. So there's 8 guys, right? So bare minimum, let's say Cam Reddish, Christian Wood, Jackson Hayes, say all those guys leave, and you trade Rui and D'Lo. For the next at least 3 years, you have LeBron, AD, Zach LaVine, Austin Reeves, Jared Vanderbilt, Gabe Vincent, Max Christie, Andre Drummond. That's 8 guys. That's not counting, if they do some other little small deal or, whatever they get in free agent. Like, how much depth do you need, right? Like, you're not going to play 12 guys anyway. I mean, the Lakers aren't playing 12 guys now. And once you get into the playoffs, you only need 8 guys anyway. So Lakers will have plenty of offense, plenty of defense, plenty of everything, right? People are so concerned with Zach LaVine's contract. This isn't the Russell Westbrook situation. One, Russ never was going to work. I mean, everybody knew that. I had hope. I tried to speak it a little bit into fruition, but nobody really thought that was going to work perfectly, right? It was if it does, I get the idea. And if they kind of figure it out, maybe it could be something, but they just never were able to do that. Zach LaVine should fit this team like a glove. And you're not worried about the only thing that would change between DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine is nothing. It's just the salary cap or the tax that the Lakers have to pay. That has no impact for the roster. It's not like if you get DeMar DeRozan, the Lakers have extra cap space. No, they're over the cap anyway. Even if the Lakers don't make a move right now, they're over the cap. They're hard capped right now, right? So regardless, it doesn't matter. Go get Zach LaVine. Go get Andre Drummond and Zach LaVine. You're good. You have 8 guys for the next 3 years. In 2025, the cap just skyrockets. And then Zach LaVine's contract will be reasonable. Still not going to be great because he's not a $40 million a year guy. But, sometimes you gotta give a little. You got to take a little to give a little, right? But Andrew, coming up, $5 super chat, keeping the party going. I appreciate it. I'm taking LaVine over DeMar DeRozan, ATP, 44% on catch and shoot threes. It's semi-high risk, but it's a necessary. He provides an offensive ceiling we don't have. Exactly. I've talked about it. The ceiling with LaVine is higher than with DeMar DeRozan. But like I've mentioned, the floor, I think, is higher with DeMar. But either way, I think we're championship, right? But I just think LaVine, if he works the way he should with the Lakers, I mean, good luck stopping them. Teams can't, Anthony Davis and LeBron James get whatever they want anyway. And just think of how much that opens for everybody. Right now, teams don't respect Austin Reeves. Teams are not worried about Austin Reeves. They're just not, right? Teams are totally okay with letting Austin Reeves go one-on-one. They're not sending a help defender. They're not doing anything. They are packing the paint for Anthony Davis and trying to contain Anthony Davis. And then with them packing the paint, that makes it difficult for LeBron because he can't just drive the lane. And they're just saying if Austin Reeves goes off for 50 and beats us, then he goes off for 50 and beats us. Guess what? He's never done that, so we'll take our chances, right? But guess what Zach LaVine has done? He's done it this year. He's gone off for 50. Zach LaVine will beat you. So now teams are going, if he's hot and he's hitting shots, and if you put him on an island with somebody, he's going to cook them, right? So you want a double team? You want to pack the paint? Okay, LaVine, here you go. Go to work. Do your thing. Oh, LaVine's torching it. Okay, well, now we can't double AD down on the post. So now you got AD on an island. Right now it's pick your poison because LeBron could just get a head of steam blow by the guy, and he's getting an and one or he's dunking on you. Anthony Davis, you're going to put him on an island with whoever's defending him. Good luck with that. And then Zach LaVine, it opens up so much more for the Lakers. And then if Austin Reeves goes and gives you 20, you're probably not going to lose any of those games. If Austin Reeves goes and gives you 20 with a Zach LaVine and him giving you 20 plus, you're probably going to win 90% of those games, if not all of them. So you just got it. You got to go get the Zach LaVine. You have to. But anyway, again, I really appreciate that. All right, let's power through as many questions as we can. Like I said, I'm going to go probably about 15 more minutes, 10, 15 more minutes, because this is tough. Like I said, still not there health-wise. Unbelievable. I feel it. Yeah. Oh, well, we aren't that good. We're just not. I mean, it's just the best way to put it. We're not. Junior. Yeah, I feel it. This game is over when Ham went small lineup in the third. Yeah, it just, I don't know. I have had enough of Ham. Terrible loss. Lakers are in trouble for sure. What is Ham doing? I'm patient on him, but he's not improving. He's not improving. But I mean, this team as a whole, I just don't have it. This is on Ham. Men, we definitely win this one if we played big. I still don't think we beat it. I mean, they killed us out on the perimeter. They weren't necessarily killing us on the inside. Like Jackson, like what is Jackson Hayes doing? Like Christian Wood, like what are they doing? Like, for being honest, right? I'm not saying that Ham shouldn't have played them, but like Jackson Hayes and Christian Wood aren't changing the outcome of this game. They're just not. They're just not. As much as I would love for them to happen. Andrew, coming out the $5 ship chat. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. It's such a unique situation. Levine provides immense value for specifically the Lakers roster configuration. He is an incredible fit for us all in. That's what I'm saying. Like, there is two teams, in all honesty, there's only two teams that I could think of that Zach LaVine would elevate to like contender status. And that's the Heat and the Lakers. Because the Heat really need somebody like that too. They need somebody that can just go get a bucket. I just don't see the Heat trading for Zach LaVine. I think the Heat are waiting for like a Donovan Mitchell or something like that. But look, if the Lakers, if Zach LaVine is really on the table and we're just kind of waiting for the 15th to come so we can go get him, then I'm all for it. Because Zach LaVine would, I mean, he solves like 70% of our problems. Like literally, like 70% of our problems he solves. The shooting, the scoring, the rim pressure, just having an athletic guard, all that stuff. I understand he has the defensive ailments, but so does D'Lo. He's not going to be worse than D'Lo and Reeves, right? So, like, regardless, like, you're stuck whether we like it or not. And again, the Lakers' defense hasn't been the problem this year, right? We're 7th in defense. We're 26th in offense. Like, that's the difference, right? We can slow teams down and we can keep teams contained, but we can't score enough to outweigh it. And so then what ends up happening? Eventually our defense gets tired, they start wearing down, and teams go on a run and they close us out. It's happened like the last 5 games, right? Like our defense keeps us in the game. We're close, we're tight, we're creating turnovers, all that stuff. We're not hitting shots, right? Team goes up on us by 12. We kind of refocus, realign, get back into it, start defending, start locking down, playing the best defense we can, get back into the game again, and then towards the end of games where guys are tired, they've been working twice as hard because we can't score the basketball. Like, that's the problem. That's where we're at right now. Like, that's the biggest issue for the Lakers right now. It's just, it sucks. It does. It sucks. Junior, coming in hot the $5 super chat. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Why Wood is no longer in the lineup much? That, to be honest, I don't really know. I would imagine you'd want to get him some run. My guess is just like they're going with Rui over Wood, right? But even then, like, I mean, you could play him at the 5, I guess. Like I wouldn't have mind them going with Wood at the 5 as opposed to, going small with like Rui, Vando. Like, I would have rather them go with like LeBron. Like, if you could have done the same lineup and just went slightly bigger with Christian Wood. But I don't know. I'm assuming it's a combination of things, lack of defense. He hasn't been great for us on either side of the basketball, not the way that we thought he would. But like, look, I've defended Wood. Like, you look at it, he had like 3 games where he didn't play at all, completely out of the rotation. Then they put him in the game and he goes and scores, what was it, like 13 or 15, something like that. Like, after not playing 3 games. Then they sit him for like another like 2 or 3 games. And then he plays and he goes and drops another 17 and 8. Like, the guy, like, give the guy some minutes. Like, what does the guy have to do? Right? Like, I understand he has some good minutes and he has some bad minutes, but like, he's still 6'10". He still can play some defense. He can still play alongside AD. I don't know. I mean, look, if the Lakers trade Rui, maybe Wood gets more of an opportunity, right? If the Lakers trade Rui, maybe that's the direction that they go. Like, okay, well, now we'll play Wood more minutes and Wood gets the opportunity. Maybe they're even telling him that. Like, hey, just be patient. Your time's going to come. And they're trying to get Rui. They're trying to get Rui and D'Lo and some of these other guys minutes to kind of showcase them. Could be a possibility. I don't know why Christian Wood would just completely fall out of lineup. Like, he hasn't been great for us, but he hasn't been that. He's been better than most of the guys that have played, right? Especially on the offensive side. And the Lakers just use him terribly. Like, Darvin Ham uses Wood terribly. He basically is just a spot up 3-and-D guy. Same thing with Rui, right? Like, that's not their game. Can they hit the occasional three? Sure. The whole point of Christian Wood was like he's a 6'10 guy that's excellent in the mid-range and around the rim. Oh, and he can shoot the three. Not he can shoot the three, and on occasion, the whole point of Christian Wood and his three-point shooting was supposed to be an add-on. It was supposed to be the extra. It was supposed to be this. This is just another weapon in his arsenal rather than his main weapon. And then people wonder why he's not great. Like, how? Like, that's not his game. His game isn't to just shoot 5 threes a game. His game is to shoot the occasional three when he gets an open look and he can run some pick and pops. But you're supposed to give him the ball on the block. Christian Wood has to work twice hard. Same thing with Rui, right? I mean, Rui just gets regulated to being a three-point shooter. Put him on the block. He's such a mismatch for everybody. Get him the basketball. Let him go to work. Let him take his guy off the dribble or hit a mid-range or whatever. It's frustrating. Like, that's my biggest problem with Darvin Ham is just the lack of utilization of the players that we have on this roster. I'm not saying like you run your entire offense through Rui or Christian Wood. I'm not even saying that those two guys change the Lakers right now, right? But I do think that they would help if you utilize them the right way. But I don't know. Your guess is good as mine, Junior, but I appreciate that. Jeremy, come in and hop the $5 super chat. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate that. Sorry. Zach and Drummond deal would likely be D'Lo, Rui, and Gabe. Lakers can only add about $4 million with the hard cap, and that should keep 14 slots filled. Yeah, my guess is, I mean, maybe they give up Gabe too, but D'Lo. I know, so like D'Lo, Rui is what? That's like $33 million. So yeah, if you want a Drummond, you'd have to do Gabe Vincent as well. So yeah, I mean, whatever you got to do to get it done. I think you got to snag Drummond also, just because he's a serviceable big man. Again, he's not gonna change the fate of the Lakers by himself, but he's more trustworthy than Jackson Hayes. He's a solid rebounder, even in limited minutes. Like, the guy's only playing like 12 minutes a game this year, and he's giving you like 6 and 6. Like, that would be perfect for the Lakers. Like, that's all the Lakers need is just another center when AD's out of the game, because AD is going to play, 34 to 35 minutes. You just need that guy that can come in for like 13 to 15 minutes a game and just hold things down. Just be a deterrent, rebound the basketball, play him alongside AD, right? Like, I think that you got to get Drummond in the deal. But at this point, the Lakers, they got to get Zach LaVine. Like, beggars can't be choosers, right? Like, again, I would rather have a DeMar DeRozan. There's just no guarantee that they're gonna trade him this year. And then on top of that, right? Like, we don't have enough assets to go get a Donovan Mitchell or anything like that. Like, I would love it, if we could, but I just don't see it. I just don't see a scenario where we have enough. Even if we traded like the best package we could and included Austin Reeves and stuff, I just think other teams can outbid us. So we're limited on what we can get. Zach LaVine, you probably don't have to give up a first, or I wouldn't, right? Like, I'd be like, you guys are crazy. Go look elsewhere, right? Like, good luck, right? If you can find somebody, take his $40 million, we're doing you a favor. They have to trade him. Him and the organization's relationship is just in the dumpster. His relationship with the head coach is in the dumpster, right? Like him and DeMar DeRozan. I mean, there were reports last year that Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan were literally getting into arguments in the locker room. So they have to get LaVine. Look at how Chicago's playing without LaVine, right? Like, I think the Lakers have a lot of leverage in this trade. A lot of leverage. But you got to get the deal done. Like, whatever it takes. Like, even if you have to heavily protect that. Can't blame Ham this time. Can't just play soft. Like, that's my problem. Like, I know a lot of people really want to blame Darvin Ham for like everything and think everything solely on Darvin Ham, but like, again, we just think the players just aren't showing up. Like, Darvin Ham can't control D'Lo just being terrible. Like, Darvin Ham can't control Rui being terrible. Darvin Ham can't control. Like, Darvin Ham can only do so much. I'm not saying he's without fault. Darvin Ham definitely needs some accountability. Darvin Ham has not been very good coaching this year at all. But like, everyone's default is it's all on the coach. Like, change the coach. It does nothing if the players don't show up. Go turn back the clock. Go get prime Phil Jackson. It means nothing if the players don't play to their capability. If guys aren't hitting shots, like Darvin Ham isn't the reason we're shooting, 20% from three. Like Darvin Ham isn't the reason that we're getting dominated on the boards by everybody. Like Darvin Ham isn't the reason that like we can't seem to score more than 80 points a game. Like it's just, again, at some point we have to blame the players. At some point we have to hold the players accountable. Again, Darvin Ham has not been great with his rotations. Like I mentioned earlier, he's not been great at, capitalizing on strengths of players, right? Some of the leash for some of these guys, I think, is a little too long than it should be, right? He's been better on timeout calling, but he's still not great there. But like that's kind of like the trend in the NBA right now. Like most coaches like to let teams play. Sorry, I got to sneeze. But yeah, I mean, just in general, like this isn't. The players have to step up. Like it's not Darvin Ham's fault that Anthony Davis and LeBron James scored all 14 of our first 14 points because nobody else could make a shot. Like, again, at some point, we got to hold the players accountable. Andrew, coming out, $2 super chat. Really appreciate that. I'm taking Levine over D. Mitch, his catch and shooting. Yeah, I mean, his catch and shooting is huge, right? Because the Lakers need that badly. So I'm with you. But again, thank you. I appreciate that. I'm right there with you, though. Guys, remember, we can't trade D'Lo and Rui because it will ruin chemistry. Yeah. We'll be okay. I know you're joking, but that's actually what many people say. Go get Zach Everett. Yeah, I am right there with you. Lebronto Sorry. You're not a Spurs fan anymore. You're a Bulls fan. I love it. Well, the Lakers did the exact opposite of what I said they needed to do after that Spurs loss, beat the Knicks and the Bulls, because now we have Timberwolves tomorrow, no AD, Gobert and Cat will dominate. That's the problem. If Anthony Davis doesn't play against the Wolves, which I think we lose to the Wolves regardless, but if Anthony Davis doesn't play, I think we lose by 50. That's going to be a long game, a long painful game. But man, is D'Lo not the most useless player you've ever seen? I mean, there's a lot of worse players, but no, he's been rough for the Lakers. Don't get me wrong. Tyler, it's your fault because you didn't suit up and get down that 10 day. I gotta get healthy first. Dude, I'm still dying, man. My voice is getting better. If you heard my videos the other day, man, I'm sure that doing these live streams and recording videos still isn't helping, but show must go on. I can't believe this is happening to us as it stands. I know we better than this. I mean, we should be better than this. Unfortunately, we're just not. Which is it sucks, but we're just not. We're not. This team should be absolutely dominating. They should be absolutely dominating. This should be. You look at this team on paper, and they should be fighting right now for one of the top seeds. And they just aren't. They're not anywhere close. What's going on, Ghostface Fanatic? Appreciate you being here. Trade D'Lo simple. Need a trade. I'm right there with you. D'Lo and Rui are gone. Firing Darvin Ham does nothing if the team doesn't show up. You still got to get the players. I'm not saying you don't, but I mean, again, who do you replace them with? You know what I see a lot of? Yeah, we suck for real. Yeah. You know what I see a lot of, which I think is hilarious? People will say, fire Darvin Ham and then want us to bring in Budenholzer, who is literally the same coach, verbatim. That's where Darvin Ham got all his coaching from, is that. Or I've seen people say bring in Doc Rivers. Stop. Stop. That guy has been the most underachieving coach in the history of the game. Let's see. What else? Where were we? It doesn't matter who we get. Ham can't coach. I mean, I disagree. I think, talent trumps everything. And he did a good job in the playoffs. I mean, people want to criticize him for that Nuggets game, but I don't really knock him too much for that. I understand maybe he should have taken D'Lo out of the starting unit sooner and stuff like that. But the series was over anyway, right? You're trying to keep everyone happy, keep everyone together. You're hoping that guys can turn it around. I don't really knock him for that. He blatantly outcoached Steve Kerr. and what's his name from the Grizzlies? I'm blanking on his name. But I mean, Darvin Ham has shown that he can coach. He just, I don't know. It's kind of why I feel like if you consolidate everything, then it's less guys you have to get minutes for. So like at that point, it's straightforward, right? If you trade 3 or 4 guys, well, now you know what your rotation is. It's simple, right? You're playing Zach LaVine, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis a bulk of the minutes. Now you just got to mix and match the other guys. There are no more excuses for D'Lo. I feel it. We need to get DeRozan, not Zach. I get it. I just don't see it. Like Chicago's playing too well. They don't want to trade DeMar. DeMar has said now 2 or 3 times that he wants to stay with the Bulls. Now, how much of that is just, being a company man? But the Bulls want to trade LaVine first. Like that's their goal. Trade LaVine and then see how the team looks with all the pieces that they got. The problem is like let's say we don't go after LaVine, then they go and trade LaVine to like say Miami, right? Just for argument's sake. So they end up trading LaVine to Miami, and Chicago says, we're gonna re-sign DeMar, or we're gonna trust and see if he leaves. Right now, what? Now what do the Lakers do? Right now, you waited for DeMar DeRozan, and you can't sign him. You're over the salary cap, so you don't have the money to go sign him, right? And it's like now you're screwed. Right? Like I mentioned earlier, 1 in the hand is worth 2 in the bush. I get that, Zach LaVine, his contract and stuff, but our ceiling is higher with him. He's more dynamic. What he provides is like 70% of what the Lakers need. I just think, like, do you really want to run the risk of not having a trade on the table when you know one is right there that you could get for probably pennies on the dollar, right? And like I mentioned, I get his contract. The only thing that it affects for the Lakers is the tax that they'll have to pay, right? So as long as Genie and them don't care about the tax, then no one else should. Because it's not like if we go get DeMar DeRozan, all of a sudden we have cap space. No, we're still over the cap. LeBron is going to make, $50 million, right? You got AD is going to make $50 million. There's like a third of your cap space right there. You got Austin Reeves, who's going to be on the team long term, Jared Vanderbilt, right? If Cam Reddish and all these guys opt in, like the team that you have is the team that you have right now, regardless whether you go get LaVine or not, right? So you might as well just go get LaVine. Like it's not going to impact the Lakers salary cap, regardless. I'm a D'Lo fan, but he needs to go like right now. I get it. Look, I'm right there with you. Lakers need more than a score. They officially stink. It's insane. They just stink. And suddenly the Clippers are way better. Again, sad. No, I get it. The Clippers have seemed to figure it out, right? I mean, their offense is clicking right now. They definitely need more than a scorer. But I do think, like, a guy like Zach LaVine that's why I said, like, 70% of your issues, right? Like, the Lakers could use another, like, 3-and-D style guy. But that's, like, every team in the league, right? So that's why it's difficult. But, like, I don't know, like if you could get, which I don't even know if the Lakers would be able to, but like if you could work it out to where you could get LaVine and LaVine and Drummond. Sorry. If you could figure it out to where you get LaVine and Drummond and then go get like Dorian Finney-Smith, because how much is he making? Isn't he making like 13 million, something like that? It's either him or Royce O'Neal. One of those two are making like 13 million or whatever, right? Go get one of those guys. Can you like consolidate a couple guys, give up a couple seconds, go get one of those guys? Like if you could do something like that, or maybe make it a 3-team deal to kind of like mix and match stuff. I don't know. But yeah, like if you could get that, you basically solve all your problems. This team quit. Yep. D8 low trade D'Lo. Yeah, D'Lo out here playing like Jordan Poole. D'Lo scored you more points than me. FX. I see why you've been wanting DeMar so bad, man. He's still got good with high IQ. Yeah, I mean DeMar would be great, but I just don't see. I don't want to run the risk. Is my point, right? Like my point is like you could go get Zach LaVine. Why not go get Zach LaVine? Right? Why wait and hope maybe DeMar DeRozan is available after they trade Zach LaVine? I don't want to run the risk. We need Zach LaVine. Forget DeRozan. We need the threes. We could definitely use the 3-point shooting. Definitely, especially his ability to play off the ball. Next to LeBron James, I do. I think you got to get it done. I hate to say it, but you got to get it done. The Lakers desperately need Zach LaVine. They do. They desperately need Zach LaVine. But all right, I'm gonna power through one more like sheet of questions. Obviously, if there's super chats, I'll answer those first. But I'm gonna power through one more sheet of questions, and then I'm gonna get out of here because my nose is leaking and my chest is hurting. So, all right, all right. Let's power through this. Ready, steady, go. D'Lo playing bad to lower his trade value. You can tell he plays like he doesn't care. Problem is, like, I don't think it matters. Like, most likely, if a team trades for D'Lo, they're trading for a salary. He's just kind of like a filler, and maybe he plays well for them. But yeah, I do feel that we waste LeBron another year, Tyler. I wouldn't say that yet. We'll see. We'll see what they do. Right? If they make a quality trade or two, we may be looking good. I wouldn't say that yet. It's still too early. Got to remain patient, as hard as it is, and as frustrating as it is. I'm done watching the Lakers. A bunch of goosebumps. I see it, feel it. And me off. I feel it. And what the hell is Darvin's game doing as well? I feel it. Not Russ. Seeing DeMar play live first time this season, I see why you want him. Unlike Westbrook, he has a high IQ, doesn't turn the ball over, and he can create at a high level for himself and teammates. Exactly. Which is why he would work. I'm telling you, DeMar DeRozan would work perfectly. And people act like there's more to floor spacing than just 3-point shooting. Like, people think like, oh, if you have 3-point shooting, right? Like, DeMar DeRozan is taking deep twos, right? Like, I get it's twos, but still, like, and just the type of offensive schemes, all that stuff. Like, you can create space beyond just like having guys that shoot three. It's just that's the easiest way. There's nonstop talk about Cavs wanting to trade Mitchell. I have this burning feeling that Donovan Mitchell could emerge into the picture at some point. He's cheaper, 31 million. Look, I would love Donovan Mitchell. I just don't see a scenario where we do that. I just don't think we only have one first-round pick, a pick swap, and like 4 seconds, right? Even if we traded like Reeves, Rui, Max Christie, and like Maxwell Lewis, like gave up all of our young guys, gave up Austin Reeves and Rui Hachimura. Like, there's just teams that could, like, even the Knicks could just, here's 5 firsts, and like we just can't match it, right? I mean, it would just come down to how much do they value like a guy like Reeves and stuff, and with the Lakers trade Reeves, right? I would, like, if you go get Donovan Mitchell, because I mean, now you have Donovan Mitchell and Anthony Davis long-term post LeBron. Yeah, I would do that big time. And he delivers and shows up in the playoffs. So you know that he can be a huge closer and stuff. It's not Hand's fault for them playing trash. They got to go out there and play every night and play. I'm glad to see Cam and Prince step up with LeBron and AD. Other guys has to figure it out. Exactly. Right. Again, I'm not saying Darvin Ham isn't without fault. He absolutely is with fault. But people want to solely blame Darvin Ham for all the losses. Like, Darvin Ham can only control so much. A coach can only control so much. Ham is trending on Twitter. He's the problem. Yeah, Prince is knocking down the shots. I love to see that. All right, exactly. LeBron cannot score at will. He's good in transition and cut and an occasional three, but he doesn't have the skill set to be a reliable, consistent scorer. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, he has to. When his shot is on, he's great, right? Because he can shoot over the top, all that stuff. But it's inconsistent. Most of his buckets just come to him just bulldozing into the lane, bodying dudes up, and getting to the basket, right? You need that consistent just scorer. Let's see. Plus 20 last season when D'Lo, Reeves, Braun, AD, Vanderbilt were out together. He has yet to play that lineup. Ham is garbage. Yeah, that is concerning. But also Vanderbilt hasn't been Jared Vanderbilt right now. He's not. And look, the Lakers have tried to play D'Lo and Reeves, and they were getting torched this year. You got to remember, a lot of teams didn't see tape and stuff, right? Like, this team was just thrown together and in many ways kind of overachieving, right? Now teams have an understanding. Teams know D'Lo and Reeves are a liability defensively, so they just attack them, right? Like, and Vanderbilt, like, Dude, Vanderbilt was getting beat off the dribble. Like Alex Caruso just like literally just beat him off the dribble one possession. Like that like last year that never happened to Jared Vanderbilt. Never. And if he did, he was quick enough to recover and he was able to like get back in position. And he's not there yet. But I would like to see them, throw some stuff out. Imagine having to put your second best defender on DeRozan. If he's with LeBron, DeRozan will eat. He will have a smaller defender and shoot right over. Yeah, DeRozan would be ridiculous. We are the 10th seed and the Warriors are coming. Yep, we're literally, we could easily be out of the playoffs by the end of the month. All right, Andrew. I'm gonna have this be my last question, super chat question. Obviously, if another super chat comes in, then I'll have that be my last question until the super chat stop. But LaVine can score at will anywhere on the floor. Yeah, I mean, which is why I think like the Lakers need somebody like that. They need somebody that can just go get a bucket, somebody that doesn't need setup, right? Either, right? I love Anthony Davis, but like you need to set him up, right? He needs to establish positioning to get him the basketball. Like he can't just like cross people up and just go. Like when his shot is on, right? You can kind of give him the ball at the top of the key. You can kind of back down and shoot like, a 20-footer or whatever, or just kind of step in from the 3-point line and knock down a 20-footer. But like you don't want him taking that shot, 15 times a game, right? And like another thing I've seen people do is talk about like the concern, like, oh, how will Zach LaVine get the shot attempts, right? Like there's plenty of shot attempts. Like Zach LaVine will probably get more attempts than he's getting right now. Because one, if you look at LaVine's attempts this season, D'Angelo Russell's only like 3 or 4 attempts less than LaVine this year. So right there, and then you add in Rui's attempts, like Zach LaVine's going to get probably 17 attempts per game. Austin Reeves will also probably take a step back as far as like attempts and scoring and stuff like that, right? Like Zach LaVine will get his attempts. He'll be fine. Like I said, he may end up getting more, right? He may end up getting more attempts. But anyway, we'll see. Time will tell. Jeremy, coming out $2 super chat. Thank you so much. Go rest. Get better. See you tomorrow. Yes, I appreciate you, Jeremy. Yeah, I'm gonna skate on out of here. Try to rest my voice a little bit. I got to record some videos tonight, and I'm slowly getting there. I mean, I'm better than I was the last few days. But like I said, I still got like that chest cold, which is never fun, and that cough. Like it's just the cough. It's been like 5 days, man. Like I hate this. Like I just wanted to go away, and like because I have like a big family, right? I have like 5 kids and all that stuff. So like everyone was sick, and it's just like I've just stayed sick. And I almost feel like everybody's just kind of like, because my girl gets to like go to work and stuff like that to get away. I like work from home and then do the YouTube thing and all that stuff. So I'm always here with the kids. So I'm just like sitting in this like cesspool of germs all day. It's tough, but it's life, right? But anyway, I appreciate it. I do. And everybody that hung out and joined the stream, I know I didn't get to everyone's questions. I usually try to go a lot longer, but it's just tough right now. It really is. But I appreciate you guys nonetheless. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. I'm almost at 18K. I think I'm like 85 away from 18K. Well, I don't know. Every time the Lakers lose, I end up losing a bunch of subs. So, I did. I lost 4 subs. The Lakers lose the ball. Every time the Lakers lose, people seem to unsub. So, I'm 89 away. I'm 89 subs away from 18K. So hit that subscribe button. I greatly appreciate it. I will see you guys all in the next one. Thank you.